We're kicking off today with a major backstage shakeup, and it's all about Evolution 2. Sources indicate that several WWE talents are unhappy with how the upcoming all-women's premium live event has been planned and scheduled. The show is set to take place on July 13th in Atlanta, Georgia, but the mood behind the scenes isn't nearly as celebratory as the on-screen build. According to Sean Ross Sapp on The Hump, many of the women he has spoken to believe that the event has been set up to struggle because it's scheduled over All-In weekend, which will provide a lot of competition. In addition, the show is happening across the street from a Beyoncé concert and during MLB All-Star Weekend, which means many of the hotels in the area were already booked up. Talent was not happy about this and the fact that the event had been hastily produced. Evolution 2 is set to have a much bigger card than most premium live events. The show is expected to have 7 to 8 matches rather than the 4 or 5 that people have become used to in recent years. However, WWE is scrambling to put it all together as the deals with WWE legends were struck at the last minute, which means the creative ideas aren't ready. WWE simply wants the show to surpass all the expectations that have been set. The original event did prove to be entertaining, so there's hope that this will follow suit. Do you think WWE dropped the ball by scheduling the event against so many major attractions? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. There's finally a bit more clarity, though still no confirmation, on AJ Styles' WWE contract status. After months of speculation about his future, Fightful Select now reports that Styles has quietly signed a 1-year extension with WWE. While the company and Styles have yet to comment publicly, sources close to the situation suggest the deal is already in place. The exact timing and expiration date of the extension remain unknown, but all signs point to Styles staying put, at least for now. Since returning from injury earlier this year, the former WWE champion has remained a key presence on SmackDown, continuing to compete at a high level. Styles' loyalty to WWE has been consistent over the years, even though he previously admitted to having conversations with AEW's Young Bucks back in 2019. Those talks never progressed, and Styles re-signed with WWE that year, calling it the final contract of his wrestling career. If the latest report is accurate, this new extension may indicate a slight change in perspective. Still, Styles has maintained a strong desire to retire under the WWE banner, and this deal could be the final step toward that goal. WWE and AJ Styles were contacted for confirmation, but neither has responded at the time of writing. For now, it seems the Phenomenal One isn't finished just yet. Whether this extension leads to one last title run or simply provides a proper send-off, fans are once again left wondering what AJ's final chapter will look like. Should Styles finish his career in WWE, or does he have one last surprise move left? Could we see one final run as WWE Champion? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know what you'd like to see next for AJ Styles. The so-called Indie God just ran into TNA's latest nightmare. After picking up a hard-fought win over Eddie Edwards on the July 3rd episode of TNA Impact, Matt Cardona barely had time to celebrate. With some accidental help from Brian Myers, the victory seemed to put momentum back on Cardona's side until the lights went out and chaos erupted. Making a violent first impression, the rogue NXT faction Darkstate arrived unannounced and unleashed a brutal ambush. The group, comprised of Cutler James, Dion Lennox, Saquon Sugars, and Osiris Griffin, stormed the ring and left Cardona flat on the mat, sending a message loud and clear in their TNA debut. Cardona never saw it coming. His confident persona and Indie God moniker were no defense against the calculated fury of Darkstate, who wasted no time in making themselves known to the TNA locker room. As of now, TNA has not released an official statement on the group's arrival or their motives, but their message was clear: the lines between NXT and TNA are blurring fast, and nobody is safe. Is Darkstate here to take over, or are they targeting Cardona specifically? Can the Indie God recover from this surprise attack? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The growing rivalry between WWE and TNA is about to hit another level, and it's all going down at the Great American Bash. WWE just confirmed that a huge TNA World Championship contract signing is locked in for next weekend's premium live event. The segment will feature NXT's Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana just days before their triple threat showdown for the TNA World title at Slammiversary. Trick Williams made history at WWE Battleground when he defeated Joe Hendry to capture the TNA World Championship, becoming the first active WWE star to ever hold a TNA title. Since then, Trick has been flaunting his new status as Trickin' A, and it's safe to say that has rubbed the TNA locker room the wrong way. Both Hendry and Santana are determined to bring the title back where they believe it belongs, and next weekend's contract signing could set the stage for things to get physical before Slammiversary even kicks off. Will Trick keep the upper hand, or are the odds beginning to stack against him? Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us who you think walks out of Slammiversary with the gold. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Now, Mercedes Moné's rise as a dominant force at AEW continues to make headlines, especially as she adds more championships to her already impressive collection. However, her winning streak has sparked criticism from some fans who have begun referring to her as Mercedes Hogan, a nod to Hulk Hogan's historic reluctance to take losses during his peak. The comparison hasn't gone unnoticed. During a recent Instagram Live, Moné addressed the nickname directly and made it clear she'd prefer a different label. Instead of being likened to Hogan, she said fans should start calling her Mercedes Omega, referencing Kenny Omega's well-known belt collector era, a comparison she clearly finds more fitting. This all comes in the wake of her recent win over Zeuxis at AEW Grand Slam Mexico, where Moné captured the CMLL Women's World Championship, adding in another title to her growing lineup. With her next match set against Toni Storm at All In Texas, Moné could soon be holding 7 titles simultaneously, a feat that's further fueling the debate about her current portrayal in AEW. Some fans have even gone as far as creating altered images of Moné dressed like Hulk Hogan to mock her booking. Others have voiced frustration over her continued success, suggesting she's unwilling to lose. Moné, however, shut down those claims during the same live stream, saying she has no problem with losing, but reminded everyone that no one has managed to defeat her yet. She also responded to WWE fans who say they miss her, playfully calling them crybabies and pointing out that she's consistently on AEW Dynamite. Moné made it clear that she's not hard to find, and in just days, fans can watch her challenge for yet another title at AEW's biggest show. As her momentum builds, so does the divide in fan opinion. Whether people see her as unstoppable or overpushed, Mercedes Moné remains one of the most talked about stars in professional wrestling today. Is the Mercedes Hogan nickname fair, or are critics just exaggerating her dominance? Let us know your take in the comments. Now, AEW is officially shifting the legal battle involving Jon Moxley to a bigger stage. The company has filed to move the civil lawsuit brought by production crew member Christopher Dispenza to a federal court. According to legal documents filed on July 3rd, AEW is asking for the case to be heard at the federal level, citing diversity of citizenship and a claimed lien exceeding $215,000. Dispenza, who worked through Broadcast Service Group as a contractor, originally filed the suit back in May, accusing both AEW and Moxley of gross negligence and assault. Dispenza claims he suffered severe neck and shoulder injuries during the May 10, 2023 episode of AEW Dynamite in Detroit, when Moxley allegedly shoved him to the ground while retrieving a screwdriver during his violent steel cage match with Kenny Omega. The shove, according to Dispenza, was completely off script and led to injuries so serious they required cervical fusion surgery. Dispenza, who hasn't worked for AEW since late 2024, is seeking over $25,000 in damages for what his legal team describes as injuries suffered due to the actions of the wrestler and the company he worked for. The lawsuit also accused AEW of failing to control its talent and referenced Moxley's alleged documented history of unpredictability. However, several AEW sources close to Moxley have refuted that narrative, insisting he's respected backstage and known as a locker room leader. The move to federal court signals that this situation is far from over and could now drag out on a much bigger legal platform. What's your take on this situation? Is AEW liable for what happened backstage, or is this lawsuit reaching too far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Speaking of major events, AEW Dynamite had a special anniversary this week, with it being the 300th episode of the show, and the company celebrated it with a stacked card that featured all of the top stars on the roster. However, that doesn't mean everything went to plan, as the show was far from perfect. Even though it received generally positive feedback, some notable booking decisions left fans frustrated in the aftermath. One of those was having Mina Shirakawa lose clean to Mercedes Moné. They wrestled for the TBS title on Dynamite, ending their rivalry, and the former WWE superstar came out on top with a clean win. While fans expected Moné to retain to keep her looking dominant for All In, they did want to see Shirakawa protected a little more in the loss, as she's been steadily growing in popularity as she climbs up the card. The CEO could have easily gotten away with cheating a little to get the job done, which would have helped Shirakawa to look more impressive in the defeat. Another issue fans had was with the pacing of the show itself. Some believed that some segments lasted too long, while others were simply fillers, which shouldn't have happened on a show like this. The tag team match that saw Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland face La Facción Ingobernable was an example of this, while the Hurt Syndicate segment felt rather repetitive. Finally, the tension between the Young Bucks and Hangman Page not being addressed also frustrated audiences after what had happened the previous week. Page refuted help from the Young Bucks as the Cowboy ended up being beaten down, with the EVPs turning on him to help out. Yet this week, Hangman didn't call out his former friends or look for revenge, which felt out of place. Ultimately, fans were just nitpicking at small details they felt could be improved because they hold AEW to such a high standard. However, if Tony Khan wants to own the #1 wrestling promotion in the world, then he will have to do that. It isn't just AEW fans who have been complaining lately, as WWE's universe has slightly been disappointed with the lack of legends confirmed to appear at Evolution 2, with Trish Stratus currently being the only person with a match on the card. Fortunately, it appears that might be changing, as Joey Votes revealed on WrestleVotes Radio on WrestleBinge that former WWE superstars the Iconics could be making their return after 1,550 days. The duo, who worked in WWE as Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, are now known as Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay and work under the tag team named The Inspiration for TNA Wrestling. The popular tag team only recently returned to wrestling after a period away from in-ring competition to start their respective families, and they haven't missed a beat as they've been their usual entertaining selves. As of now, WWE and The Inspiration are just in discussions about a possible appearance. However, given WWE's working relationship with TNA, it appears that Evolution 2 could be about to get a little more iconic. Former WWE superstars might be popping up at Evolution 2, but they've also appeared in AEW over the years, and it appears that there could be another around the corner. That's because Fightful Select has reported that Fred Rosser was backstage at this week's Dynamite and Collision tapings in California. Rosser is best known to most fans as former Nexus member Darren Young, who has been a part of NJPW's American events in recent years. Rosser wasn't part of the shows in any form, however, many people were talking about him due to his appearance backstage. He's made it clear in the past that he'd be open to working for AEW, and even wanted to team up with former AEW star Sonny Kiss. It's currently unknown whether Rosser was simply backstage visiting friends or if there was more to it. However, given AEW's working relationship with NJPW, it wouldn't be a surprise to see some form of crossover in the future. Back to WWE now, and while the company is always looking to sign the biggest names possible, there is one young wrestler that fans might need to keep an eye out for in the future. The Orton family has an incredible legacy in the wrestling business, and it appears that it might not end with Randy Orton. That's because he revealed that his youngest son has now started wrestling during an appearance on What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon. If he makes it that far, his son would become a fourth-generation WWE superstar, following in the footsteps of Bob Orton Sr., Cowboy Bob Orton, and his father, the Viper, Randy Orton, to carry on the family name. Orton's son is involved in 3 different sports at school, including football and track, but the WWE superstar revealed that he is now wrestling in tournaments as well. Would you like to see another member of the Orton family enter the world of WWE one day? Let us know in the comments. From the future of professional wrestling to the past, it's believed that a major wrestling legend is set to make a surprise appearance for AEW in the near future. AEW's All In Texas is right around the corner, and with this being the company's biggest show of the year, there's been no shortage of speculation about potential surprises that Tony Khan might deliver. One of them has been the potential appearance of AEW legend Sting. According to Fightful Select, Sting has been discussed internally to make a possible appearance, with the belief being that any appearance from him would be tied to the return of Darby Allin. Allin has been off television for months due to injury and climbing Mount Everest, but people within AEW expect him to return at All In Texas. Sting's been closely associated with Allin due to their epic tag team partnership, which led to a genuine friendship forming between them. Therefore, seeing them back together on television would make sense. Sting lives in Texas and made a surprise appearance for the On Sale event in December. On top of that, he's set to be in the area as he's confirmed for a signing and photo appearance at StarCast, while he has publicly mentioned that he expects to at least attend All In backstage. Given that the icon will be around, all the signs are pointing toward the Stinger making a surprise appearance, whether it be to fight, make a statement, or just appear in front of his home state crowd. While AEW is looking to bring back a legend in Sting, Tony Khan is always looking to bolster his roster, and there's no signs of that slowing down anytime soon. AEW has built up an impressive women's division in recent years, and it appears that Khan isn't quite done yet, and he's had his eye on a former WWE superstar. According to WrestleVotes Radio, AEW is interested in signing Isla Dawn. One source even claims that she was spotted backstage at a recent AEW taping, showcasing how close this deal might be to happening. WWE released Dawn in February, but it appears she's not wasting time getting back onto television. AEW constantly adds fresh talent, and Dawn's in-ring ability plus her unique supernatural gimmick would make her a great fit for the women's division right now. Her WWE run also means she's already had some exposure that would make her familiar to audiences. Do you think Isla Dawn is a good fit for AEW, or should she take her talents elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know. Another star fans would like AEW to sign is Mustafa Ali, whose WWE run saw him get involved in various memorable moments, one of which was his popular hacker gimmick. However, despite its potential, WWE dropped it without warning, and Ali has now revealed why. The former WWE star spoke with the Wrestling Classic about the storyline, which was set to kickstart a major storyline with Dolph Ziggler, only for WWE to pull the plug. The only actual creative plan that I knew about as the hacker was that the first feud was going to be me and Dolph Ziggler. Dolph was doing this romance story with Mandy Sachs and Otis, and then there was going to be a WrestleMania blow-off, and the idea that I leak footage or somehow I inform Mandy that Dolph's intentions aren't true and Sonya's in on it, yada yada, so that's as far as that went. That storyline was going to culminate in a major WrestleMania match, yet WWE opted to drop the entire character straight after revealing Ali was the man behind the hacking. The reason the character died is because there was a dynamic power shift at the time, where Raw had its own writer and SmackDown had its own writer. I think it was Paul Heyman and Bruce Pritchard, and there was some sort of power struggle with that, and ultimately the character suffered because of that. WWE had different creative teams at the time, yet Ali believes both of them wanted him to be a part of their show. Unfortunately, a behind-the-scenes issue led to the storyline, and Ali himself suffering. More WWE news now, as Jelly Roll is confirmed to appear on the July 11th edition of Friday Night SmackDown, and according to WrestleVotes, that might just be the beginning. Sources within WWE believe his appearance could spark an extended storyline, with more appearances already being discussed. While the Jelly Roll is currently on tour, it's notable that he has the first weekend of August free, right around SummerSlam, fueling speculation of a possible in-ring debut. Fans may remember his impactful moment at last year's event when he delivered a memorable chokeslam to Austin Theory, earning praise from the WWE Universe and superstars alike. Jelly Roll has publicly stated that he has unfinished business in WWE and wants to step into the ring for a proper match. With SummerSlam around the corner, the timing couldn't be more interesting. Would you want to see Jelly Roll compete at SummerSlam? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We are ending today with some shocking news involving Rusev, who is one of WWE's most intimidating wrestlers who few people would want to cross. However, somebody has taken that risk, as Rusev and Lana's Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon has recently been stolen. Lana revealed the shocking news on Instagram, confirming it was stolen from a valet. The incident took place at Erewhon and Equinox, where there were no security cameras in the parking lot to catch the criminals. Lana blasted the location for not having cameras, pointing out that expensive locations have poor security, which is certainly a valid argument. The former WWE superstar thanked Passes for assisting her and teased that she would discuss the situation further on CJPerry.com, which she is about to relaunch. Given that a vehicle like this starts at about $150,000, it's no surprise that Rusev and Lana are furious, especially with all of the smart technology available.